Today I'm here with John Whittaker of Dell, and we're going to talk about a survey that you guys did about the future of Hadoop, NoSQL, and database systems, correct?
That's correct, Joey. It's great to be here with you. We ran a survey with some analysts where we interviewed or surveyed 300 database administrators or DBAs on the types of systems they use, how they use them, as well as what they see going on and their perspectives on the future. So we got some great insights to share, I think, from these DBA users across the globe.
So let's launch right into it. So tell me about some of the key findings that you guys came up with.
Well, you know, the really interesting thing is that although the big data platforms, the NoSQL platforms and Hadoop continue to see growth, relational databases, traditional database platforms like Microsoft SQL, Oracle, IBM DB2, also are experiencing a great deal of growth at the same time. So it's not really a situation where, you know, the big data platforms are eating the relational database platforms. And in reality, what we're seeing and what the survey is showing is that organizations and the DBAs within them are really embracing technology to manage data of all types. It's really not a question of big data or small data. It's really a question of all data.
So tell me why what you found was important for the future of some companies. Why would people be interested in this?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, I mean, one of the things that I get to do in my role is to travel around and go to conferences and meet with CIOs and database developers and DBAs across the world, and they're all looking very closely at what's emerging in this big data market, and want to get a good sense of, you know, is it hype, or, you know, are they falling behind the curve? Should they be migrating wholesale? What should they do is a big question that I hear repeated. And, you know, we've been saying for some time that, you know, although big data is certainly an interesting and very viable platform, and something that we've embraced here at Dell and within Dell Software, build tooling to manage, integrate, and analyze the data no matter where it sits. The reality is that, you know, if you have relational databases in your environment, you're going to continue to have them. The enterprise applications that organizations deploy to run transactional systems, to really run their business, are still going to continue to run on relational databases. So, you know, the real findings here is that, you know, don't necessarily believe the hype that big data is and Hadoop is the only way to go. It certainly is a terrific technology to begin to implement. You should be looking at it, but relational databases are here to stay. And you know, from our perspective, you know, the real benefit to be gleaned out of looking at this is that you know, best practices indicates we're going to continue to have both, and that you know, not just growth on the big data side, but continued growth on both the relational side of the world and the big data NoSQL Hadoop type platforms.
So they can both survive at the same time then?
That survive and prosper. I anticipate that we will continue to see organizations deploy both types of technologies and see growth of data and growth of application and utility in all types of data in the environment. And that's sort of matches up well with the strategy we have. You know, I mean, if you're a vendor that only sells big data solutions, then of course, you know, you've been subscribing for some time that, you know, that's where it's going. But based on our analysis and what we're looking at talking to users, it's going to be a world where it's heterogeneous, where you have relational databases of multiple flavors, as well as NoSQL technologies like Hadoop and Mongo and Cassandra and all those other terrific platforms that answer the big data problem. You're going to see them side by side. And really, the other thing that emerged from this survey is the reality that the DBA is becoming heterogeneous in its own right, right? You know, the individuals who are administering the platforms are becoming multilingual. They are managing their core platform, maybe Oracle, and also maybe an adjacent relational database like Microsoft SQL. and we're seeing them also begin to administer the NoSQL platform. So if anything, it's heading in the direction where the DBA will continue to manage more platforms to facilitate all of the needs that the business wants to gain from their data and the data that's available to them.
So how reliant are companies on traditional relational database technologies at this point that you found in the survey?
Yeah, based on the survey, more than 70% of organizations rely on the traditional relational databases. Really, when you look at NoSQL and Hadoop, the NoSQL databases, about 10% of organizations have implemented that platform and about 20% on Hadoop. Interestingly, about 57% of the organizations came back and said that they had plans to implement Hadoop. So certainly that's a very popular platform. Organizations want to be able to add data that doesn't fit in a relational database to their analytics particularly. That's the primary driver for why organizations are adding new data technologies to their environments. They want to get more useful insights from them. So there's definitely growth there, but it's going to be a world where both relational and NoSQL Hadoop type platforms coexist. And the real trick and opportunity is how do you analyze data on both sides of it? How do you bring small and big data together and drive smarter decision making and operational action?
I mean, that seems like the question that everybody has to ask themselves going forward. And let's talk structured versus unstructured data. What did the survey find there?
Structured versus unstructured data, again, kind of came in with 83% reporting growth in transactional data, which would be relational structured data, and about 70% sort of focus wholly on that space. So, if you do the math, it leaves 20 to 30% of unstructured data being analyzed in the environments. The surprising aspect, at least for me looking at it, was the fact that the rate of growth of relational databases was so high. We kind of anticipated that would be a little bit less, and that the real massive growth would be on the NoSQL and Hadoop platform type technologies. But it's both are growing, and in fact the relational databases, based on the input from the DBAs, is actually growing a little bit faster. So
how does all of this information help Dell going forward? How is it helping your plans going forward?
So this is aligns well with our perspective, right? We had some assumptions going in that turned out to be a little bit off kilter, right? We had assumed that the big data platforms would be the primary growers. We didn't anticipate that relational databases would be replaced, but the growth of data would stay fairly constant, or rate of growth, and then the big data growth would be much faster. Based on the survey, the rate of growth is on par. They're both growing very rapidly. One of the things that Dell has done in its strategy from a software perspective was to acquire some great technologies like Toad, like Boomi, like Statistica on the advanced analytics side. So technologies that support an all data viewpoint that are specifically designed to manage data from both relational and NoSQL Hadoop type platforms, to integrate that data and to analyze the data. So this actually fits well into Dell's perspective, and any of the larger organizations that are focused on a heterogeneous world of data are going to continue to do well. We don't believe that the big data pure play vendors are going to continue to grow. I mean, there's a great opportunity for a broad market here, but we feel that there's an advantage, and our customers gain an advantage by dealing with a vendor that supports management, data integration, and data analysis of all the data types. So it's good news for us, certainly, and we're very excited that it aligns with the strategy we've taken over the last several years of growing Dell Software from its inception just over 3 years ago.
John, is there anything else you want to say?
You know, the main thing for me and what I love to do when I get out there and just talk to users is embrace the technology, no matter where it's headed. It's an exciting time to be in the world of data and insights. It really hasn't been this exciting since I got into the business back in, the late 80s, when relational databases were kind of really taking off and client server was happening. It's a lot of similarities. If you're in data, great, expand your skill set, learn about data science, maybe move up the stack into analysis, become a data scientist. If you're not in the space, get in it. It's going great. There's terrific technology. There's tons of benefit that we can provide customers and users. It's just a terrific time to be in this space. And, the data really indicates what we're already seeing in our business.